So apparently, in less than 30 days from now, a major upgrade when it comes to VeChain could very well come into fruition because VeChain recently made a post saying how Interstellar is on the horizon, a major upgrade, basically, and they announced a bunch of other things that seemed quite boring, so I'll simple things down and just only say that. But the basic gist of it is that a major update in the case of Interstellar, it could very well happen in less than 30 days from now. Now, people like to say, wait, hold up. Didn't the Interstellar upgrade already happen? Well, not necessarily. The vote passed, so yeah, it's going to happen, but it needs to be fully enacted, right? It needs to come into fruition in order to fully happen, if that makes sense. And it's apparently going to be the case in less than 30 days from now. So I'll talk all about that in today's video and talk about as well the quite, I would say, decent recovery in the past 24 hours of almost 9% when it comes to VET, which is VeChain's primary native token. But before we get all into that in today's video, I first want to clarify, this is just my perspective. Nothing I say is financial advice, and I am not telling anyone to do anything. But besides that point, I want to talk about first the Interstellar upgrade, right? Or the upcoming upgrade, I should say. So apparently, it's going to happen at a block height of 25,902,540, which apparently it is kind of anticipated that that might occur in less than 30 days from now. Around the 16th of September, the block height is anticipated to reach 25,902,540. So if we do some basic math, the 16th of September is less than 30 days from now, approximately, what is that, like 27 days or whatever? So again, that's why in less than 30 days from now, allegedly, the Interstellar upgrade could actually finally happen and come into fruition. Now, people like to tell me, well, why does it take so long? Well, that's just how things kind of work when it comes to this. I mean, again, this is kind of the usual though, when it comes to a lot of projects out there. A vote passes and it takes time to fully enact. So it's not anything unusual like that. It's kind of the norm actually for a lot of other projects out there. And we saw a wait time too for the Galactica upgrade and also the Hayabusa upgrade. So it's really nothing new. And this is progress, I think, when it comes to VeChain fundamentally, because if we take a look at, let's say in the case of the Hayabusa upgrade, the Galactica upgrade, and now we're seeing the Interstellar upgrade, we're beginning to see things that were mentioned in the Renaissance roadmap. I'm literally not joking. It's called that. Again, we're seeing things that are mentioned on there actually come into fruition, which I think is actually a pretty impressive thing. And seeing Interstellar come into hypothetical fruition, I don't see why it's so bad. Now, people like to say, what is this upgrade even? Like, what is Interstellar? Now, I've already mentioned this before when it comes to what it is and what it's about. I've already gone into greater detail in my previous video, but in case someone didn't watch it, basically, if I want to simple things down, the Interstellar upgrade is going to bring better EVM aspects, right? In terms of Ethereum virtual machine. That's what EVM stands for. So people like to say, well, why is that a big deal? Like, who cares? Well, first of all, I care, and apparently VeChain cares, and apparently, all the individuals who voted yes for that, I think apparently they care as well, right? In a sense where I get it. People like to say, if the VeChain Thor blockchain is so good, why does having an aspect of EVM matter so much? Like, why would improving that be such a good thing? Well, it's because there's no denying that Ethereum as a layer 1 blockchain is way more popular than VeChain Thor, and most likely it will stay that way, right? Moving forward, in terms of VeChain Thor being less popular than Ethereum. Yeah, no surprise there. So of course, having an upgrade that improves upon the aspect of EVM, or again, I should say Ethereum virtual machine, is of course a net positive when it comes to VeChain, especially in the long term, especially when it comes to developers and also, just the vibes overall, right? And maybe increasing better adoption when it comes to VeChain. So it's not a bad thing, in my opinion at least. Now, people like to tell me, is VeChain only doing this type of stuff because the market recovered? No. Well, here's the thing. They already planned this for quite a while now. And it's not like Sonny Liu, the CEO, when it comes to VeChain, is sitting down and he's like, oh, you know what? We're going to make upgrades exactly when the market recovers. No, I don't think he was doing that. This was planned quite some time ago We saw it recently pass, and we need it to actually come into fruition, which apparently it might happen in less than 30 days from now. Now, people like to tell me, well, if the interstellar upgrade were to really happen, is it going to make the price charts automatically do this or do that? No, I don't think so. The chart's moving, right? When we take a look at VET as of right now, recovering almost 9% in the past 24 hours, it's not because of the interstellar upgrade. That plays a small role, but that's not the only reason. The main reason is because the market overall recovered slightly. And I've mentioned this a bunch of times before, but a project can't really do much if the market overall generally doesn't recover most of the time, right? I've used this example before, but it's kind of like having a piano in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's cool, but who's really going to play it and who's really going to care about it if it's in the middle of nowhere, right? The only way it would matter is if, let's say, there was like a city built, or let's say, a lot of people were there and suddenly they wanted to play the piano, then yeah, it's going to start to matter. But if not, then it wouldn't. It's kind of no different when it comes to VeChain. VeChain can have all these fantastic upgrades, but it won't really do much to the charts if the market doesn't recover. But like I mentioned before, things don't matter until they do. Like that piano example I mentioned before. That piano may not matter until it eventually does, maybe. So when it comes to space, upgrades, updates, when it comes to a project, sometimes it doesn't matter until hypothetically it eventually does one day if the market were to recover. So that's why I've never ignored, all the previous upgrades when it comes to VeChain, all the improvements, when it comes to vWorld AI and how that's powered by Agent Suite. I've never ignored all that just because I thought to myself, this is the type of stuff that could maybe be cared about, like something that could matter later on if things were to recover. So I've never like downplayed or disregarded any of the previous upgrades or updates when it comes to VeChain. But I digress. This recovery, while it may seem quite impressive, because of course, for quite a while VeChain was doing so bad, seeing like around a almost 9% recovery in the past 24 hours could seem quite fantastic, right? But I don't really think about it that way quite necessarily, because if we take a look at it, VeChain, or should I say VET, its primary native token, but I think you get what I mean. Besides that, this is still well over 10 times away than its peak in 2024. In 2024, the market cap peaked at around 5.3 billion. Right now, the market cap is around 440 million. Again, we're still over 10 times away from that. And keep in mind, like December 2024 was not the best of the best time for VeChain. No, not necessarily. Yeah, sure, the market cap back then was around 5.3 billion, but in 2021, the market cap when it comes to VET was almost 14 billion. So if we take a look at around a 5.3 billion market cap, it's nothing that groundbreaking, but yet VET is so low to the point that if it goes back there, it's already over a 10 times journey. So when I take a look at this, I don't really think about this as something so fantastic, this almost 9% recovery in the past 24 hours, but I view it as like a small step, but the journey is still long in the grand scheme of things, comparatively speaking to even last year, let alone the year before and even its all-time high. It's still so far away. So again, this almost 9% recovery in the past 24 hours, I'm not going to complain about that. It is a small step, but the journey is still quite far, it seems like, when it comes to VeChain in the grand scheme of things, at least comparatively speaking to 2024, right? And even also 2021 and so on. But I digress. When it comes to VeChain, as of right now, there's nothing else that I can really do beyond wait, even though I don't have to, but I'm still waiting. But nonetheless, seeing how in less than 30 days from now, allegedly, there's going to be a coming full circle or coming into fruition type of vibe when it comes to the interstellar upgrade, I just found it to be quite interesting, and I am looking forward to that. But I'll be sure to make an update when it comes to VeChain, and I'll continue to document my journey along the way, so hopefully I'll stay tuned for future upcoming videos. I want to say thank you so much for watching. It's been Lee the Captain.